Hey, I'm Nathan.
And I'm Dexter, and this has been a very long content break.
Yeah, well, we've been away from school, so this is our first time we're not actually together, so it's just going to be me playing Elite Dangerous. Dexter's over in his own land playing Starfinder, I think, right?
Starbound,
Starbound. What's Starfinder?
absolute.
What the fuck is
It's
Starfinder?
Pathfinder. It's Pathfinder in space.
Right, right. We were talking about starting a campaign in that a while ago. That's probably why it was nothing. Anyways, right, Starbound. Anyways, so we figured we should probably make an episode by now. Plus, we're having a conversation over text about the nature of the communist revolution, if and when it ever happens. So we thought that would make an interesting episode. So we figured we'd discuss that.
Yeah.
So there's this debate in the leftist community of whether or not we can actually achieve our goals through a non-violent revolution, because the idea is that every communist revolution that's happened so far has been a violent communist revolution. So so the idea is that whenever there's a violent communist revolution, it just turns into a dictatorship. So the idea is that maybe if we have a non-violent communist revolution, because of just the nature of that revolution, it won't turn into a dictatorship, and that's how we actually achieve the humane communist state. So how do you feel about that, Dexter?
Well, I don't know. It's not the violence of the revolution. It's that vanguardism problem.
Yeah, I know that ContraPoints, which honestly, ContraPoints is amazing. Subscribe to ContraPoints, like, for fuck's sake. ContraPoints, I feel like, should be required watching for anyone who is even vaguely interested in communism. Or just leftism in general. Or honestly, everyone watch ContraPoints. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you fall on. ContraPoints is amazing. But she believes that we can't achieve our goals through a nonviolent revolution, which she talks about in her video on capitalism. Because she discusses how she discusses basically exactly what I've been saying, that every time, although yeah, they achieved a communist takeover by a violent revolution in the past, that wasn't really the communism we want. It was like this weird pseudo-communism, which is the whole reason why everyone thinks communism is terrible, is because all we've ever seen of it is what we see in Maoist China and the Soviet Union and all that crap.
Don't you be diss talking my Mao boy. Don't you be diss talking my Mao boy.
So, wait, are you saying Maoist China was a success?
I'm saying I am a Maoist, and yes, it was.
Well, other than all the starvation.
Look, those people are counter-revolutionaries and revisionists. That's a known fact.
Well, the problem is the people who didn't starve were the people who set up, who ignored the communal farming and actually signed blood pacts, which is a true thing that they did, to basically completely circumvent the system, and each farmer kept their own goods. Unlike in the Maoist idea where goods were spread between the community, which means if there was 100 farmers in your community and you increased your output by 100 tons of rice, you would get 1 ton. So it just the problem was it was a screwed up incentive system. At least that's what people say, and that's what I've learned, is that it was basically the problem was the incentive system. But anyways, moving on.
The problem was that they were a counter-revolutionary, and they deserved it. That was the problem.
I mean, accusing everyone who fucks up our beautiful communist nation of being counter-revolutionary isn't exactly productive, Dexter.
Well, Nathan, that's exactly what a counter-revolutionary would say.
Oh shit, am I the counter-revolutionary? Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
The nightmare becomes reality.
Yeah, you gotta go to the gulag now.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but going back to the main question, because like ContraPoints did talk about that, how basically yeah, sure, we achieved communist takeover via violent revolution, but it wasn't the communism we actually want. Do you agree with her?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Cuba's doing pretty hot, so there's some exceptions.
Well, here's what I think. Because look at like a lot of revolutions that were incredibly violent in the past. Like even going past communism. I am flying horribly, but that's partially because I'm trying to gather my thoughts. So sorry to everyone watching me who plays Elite Dangerous. I am usually not this bad. Anyways, so then yeah, well, my thought is that, like, look at the French Revolution. The French Revolution was incredibly violent, but it sort of, in a way, paved the way for early democracy, right? So I think that it is possible to achieve a revolution that through violence that will eventually develop into the actual type of revolution we want, but it will take a very long time and a lot of deaths. So I think that is very much possible. I think if Soviet Russia had survived long enough and hadn't turned into turned away from communism and hadn't turned towards capitalism, then I think
counter-revolutionaries.
Yes, if I think because of the counter-revolutionaries, I think that eventually they could have developed into the actual communist nation we want. But that didn't happen because they turned away from it too early. That's what I believe, but the question is, even if I'm correct about that eventually it could turn into the type of communism we want, where with equality and rights and actual freedom of speech, then even if I'm correct about that, is it possible to achieve that without violence? Because if we can do it without killing anyone, then yeah, I'd prefer to go for that rather than any violence. Because communists are not fundamentally violent, despite what a lot of capitalists would have you believe. I mean, certainly there are the ones who just want to crush all the capitalists and murder Elon Musk and all his cronies and everyone. Which, I mean, I just want to reduce them.
Normal and cool.
I'm not sure about Dexter, but I would prefer to just reduce them to the state of the rest of the population, which honestly to them I feel like would be worse than death.
Yeah,
that if they were just reduced from being like the super wealthy to being just normal average income, I feel like to them that would be worse than death.
Yeah. So this is the episode where we really learn who leans towards the more libertarian left and the more authoritarian left.
Yeah, it is. I've also I'm still, I feel like I'm a lot less educated than Dexter about communist thinking and communist issues, but I'm a lot more educated than when we filmed our last episode, because last episode I think I'd watched like one episode of Chapo, and then now I've seen like, I recently went on like an H-Bomber Guy binge. Before that I went on a binge of ContraPoints, and before that I went on a Chapo binge. So I'm still far less educated.
Philosophy tube in there.
Yeah, I still am far less educated than Dexter, and I need some book recommendations. If anyone has book recommendations, leave them in the comments. But I'm still far less educated. Okay. But yeah, I'm still far less educated than Dexter on these issues, but I feel like I have much better understanding, so I actually feel a bit more comfortable talking about these issues than I have in previous episodes, where it's mostly Dexter talking about the issues and educating me.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a reading theory podcast. I'm just kidding. No one reads theory. Reading theory is bad.
Well, you see, it's not that it's bad, Dexter. It's that it's lame and gay.
Yeah, why isn't there any pictures in the Communist Manifesto? Why?
Have you actually read any of the Communist Manifesto? Because that might be the one thing that I'm farther than you in. Because I've actually read parts of it. Although
I've listened to it. I've never read it, but I listened to it on audiobooks.
Okay, that's not honestly that big a difference. I've been considering, I kind of want to listen to both the Communist Manifesto, but the problem is there's like a billion versions on like every audiobook platform. So I'm like, which version is correct? Or which version is the most accurate? And they're wildly different lengths. It's like the same issue with like Mein Kampf and a lot of those other books that were contradictory and have been translated into a lot of different languages, that you can't really tell which ones are the truest to the vision of the creator. Not that I'm condoning reading Mein Kampf. Well, I am to a degree, not because I think it's a good book, but because I think it's good to understand why people followed those very twisted ideals. I don't want anyone to have an illusion that either of us agree with Hitler in any capacity on literally anything. Other than possibly the mustache. That's not a half-bad mustache. We should bring that back.
I disagree immensely. He has some good issues on the environment.
Was he an environmentalist?
Yes.
Really? Oh, right. I think I did hear about that. Okay, so we agree with him on environmentalism. Oh, goodness. I'm really glad we're not famous, because the media would have a heyday with that. They just, like, just imagine the clickbait title, like, oh, Bitcoin Billy Mays, popular leftist YouTubers agree with Hitler. Like they just have a field day with that.
I mean, let's be honest, PewDiePie is probably an actual Nazi, and he's...
Yeah. Honestly, when he made, like... Honestly, the whole, like... The Fiverr incident with the death to Jews and shit... At that point, like, I was like... Yeah, at that point I was like, okay, it was a joke. It was a joke in bad taste, but it was a joke. Right? But there's so many things that have happened since then that I'm like, was it a joke? Or was it like a Freudian slip? Or, well, that's not the correct term, but was it like a slip? That like he accidentally let out his neo-Nazi ideals? Because I'm like...
Let the mask slip.
Yeah, because I'm like... you make one mistake like that, I'm like, okay, he's just joking. But you continue to do that, I'm like... Maybe it wasn't a mistake. Because it's like, if me or you were held accountable for everything we've said on, or you or I were held accountable for everything we've said on Bitcoin Billy Mays on Two Idiots Talk, you could probably take a lot of things we said out of context and condemn us for them.
When have I ever said anything problematic?
Well, episode 2, you said 9/11 was an inside job at the end.
And, you know, that's a valid theory.
Oh,
Alex
goodness.
believes that. Have you seen that fish oil video I sent you?
Oh, yes, I did. That's fantastic. That was a good video. Especially since I have people in my family who have taken, I'm not sure if they still do, but they've taken fish oil pills in the past.
Have you shown them that video?
No. But, like, oh my gosh. My family, sometimes, I'm like, guys, I love you, but you need to stop being taken in by every single health trend. Although they did it long before Alex Jones ever talked about it, okay? Like, they did it before Alex Jones was even a thing. So, I guess they're just faster on the draw. I don't know. But seriously.
Yes,
and my mom still uses, like, she uses coconut oil for bloody everything.
Yes, but that's the thing. Is it orange? That's because it's not diluted. That's because it's...
It was orange. It was very orange. Actually, I think it was as, if not more orange than Alex Jones's fish oil tablets.
Yes, but is your mother's fish oil tablets solid liquid consciousness?
That was the best line in the entire thing. I'm not sure if they were solid liquid consciousness. I don't know how much consciousness a fish has.
You know what the best thing about that video is?
What?
That sick guitar riff.
That
is the only reason I watched
right.
that video.
I love I love when people like take Alex Jones videos and just add music to them. Like the correct song in an Alex Jones video could just add so much. Like you take Alex Jones saying something crazy and it's like, haha, that's kind of funny. You take Alex Jones saying something crazy and add the X-Files theme over it. It goes from funny to hilarious.
No, you know what you gotta do? The Deus Ex music.
Yeah, yeah.
He literally lives in Deus Ex world.
Mm-hmm.
It's all nanomachines.
I think he lives in a crossover of like every like post-apocalyptic authoritarian world ever imagined. Like it's the convergence point. He lives at the convergence point between every dystopian world ever imagined by any authors. Not even all the written ones. Like, if you thought about it and were like, that would be a cool idea for a dystopian universe, it's in there. It's at that convergence point. Alex Jones knows about it. And he thinks it's real.
Well, that's the thing. He literally read all those conspiracy books in the 90s, but he just made them into one big book.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think he's the type of person who, like, read The Giver and thought it was a documentary.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I can't believe this actually happened.
What is that, The Giver?
What, you don't know what The Giver is?
No.
Wow, okay, super classic novel. Well, not like... It was like an instant classic when it came out. It recently got a movie, which was mediocre. I never actually read it, but
what's it about?
Basically, the idea behind it is that it's a society where basically all their emotions and all memories from before, like this sort of Orwellian state type deal, were all just leached out, and they are they're given to one person called what is it? There's the Giver, and there's the... Shit, I'm gonna look like an idiot whatever I say. I haven't read the book, and I've only seen the movie and heard about it.
I know what that is now.
Yeah, yeah. And then, like, their world is in black and white. And, like, they don't understand why... They have this arcade game they play called, I think it's like Cops and Bad Guys, and you go around shooting these bad guys, and it's super graphic. But they just think it's funny, and they're basically just completely.
That's normal video game.
It's true. It's true. That part of it, as it hasn't aged particularly well. Maybe he was just super. Maybe he was just super conservative when it came to that stuff. But like, there's a lot of things like that where it's like the scene near the beginning of 1984 where they talk about like the movie he saw in the theater, right? Yeah. And that's the same way they describe the video game. Like, basically, in a lot of ways, it's copying 1984. But...
So it's bad.
Not from what I've heard, but I don't know. Once again, I've never read it. Maybe I should, but I haven't. I just haven't. I recently got to 1984. So far, not really liking it. I find it's too vague to really make an impact.
Yeah, this is an anti-Orwell podcast.
I mean, I didn't actually mind Animal Farm. I think it also had a lot of mistakes, which just, if you looked at my Kindle reading, you would know, because I made notes constantly on that. And, like, every other page has, like, a long rant about what's wrong with a specific quote on it. But, like, I did overall think that Animal Farm did have some good moments and some good points, but it had a lot wrong with it. And honestly, Animal Farm hasn't aged particularly well. It has a lot of ideas that are very much of the times. 1984 I find is even worse. 1984, it's too generic to have an impact. I can't even tell what it's criticizing exactly.
Yeah.
Like, is it criticizing communism? Is it criticizing capitalism? Or just vague authoritarianism? Like, I can't...
It's just authoritarianism.
Yeah, I just...
It's like Orwell had this spicy hot take that it's like, oh, you know what? The government being in control of everything is not that great.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that was a hotter take in his time. I don't feel like it was. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I got out of it. Like, so far, maybe it... well, according to Dexter, it doesn't, but maybe it gets better.
No, the personal narrative is just awful.
Yeah.
I hate the main character. He's so boring. Which is weird, because Orwell had a pretty exciting life. And I'm like, is this what you consider a likable character?
Yeah, I don't know.
But, I mean, I'm anti-literacy anywhere. It's bourgeois. It is.
Literacy is bourgeois?
It is. It's like I said, people with glasses, can't trust them. Bourgeois.
You know, you remind me of this post I saw on r/Chapo Trap House the other day.
Yeah.
And I forget exactly what it was talking about, but basically it was like, oh, whoever won a vote or something, and it was like someone who was pro-socialist, and it was like, oh, isn't this fantastic? And then it's just like, you mean, and this like guy goes off ranting about how terrible it is. It's like, sometimes I forget how left you are, because like they go off ranting about how this person's actually a fascist, despite them being very left. And it's like, sometimes I forget how leftist you are.
Look, you know what? I can't. I'm a Marianne Wilson man, and I'm not gonna lie. Because I have a big butt.
Oh, well, we all know that's true. That's proof. We were taught that at a very young age, our generation, by the movie Shark Tale.
Well, I was gonna see that famous communist philosopher. What's his name? Who did that song?
I don't remember.
I'm gonna say Tupac. No.
I don't think it was Tupac. I'm 99.9% sure it wasn't Tupac. Start an argument in the comments. Was it Tupac? Was it vaguely similar to Tupac? Like, what was that a good comparison, audience?
I'm gonna say MC Hammer.
I don't think it was MC Hammer either. I don't remember, but anyways, no, I'm gonna say it was Gorbachev. It was Gorbachev.
Oh, you mean the man who ruined the Soviet Union?
Stalin was the man who ruined the Soviet Union.
I'm pretty sure it's the man who was in the Pizza Hut commercial.
Gorbachev was in a Pizza Hut commercial?
Yes, because he sold out the nation.
Oh my gosh, I never knew about that. That's fantastic.
Yes.
I need to see that.
Yeah, look it up. Scum-sucking motherfucker. See, you mock Stalin, but if he were still around, Gorbachev would be out of there. Yeah, we should. What was the topic? Oh yeah, nonviolent revolution. That was the.
Yeah, that was our topic.
This is why I can't write essays.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we both have a tendency to do that, to just get ridiculously off topic. Well, just going beyond that, we haven't made a video in a real long time, so we should talk about a lot of the shit that's happened. And honestly, so much shit has happened, I don't know where to start.
It has been the shittiest of the year.
Yeah. Like, fucking... Do we start with concentration camps, or do we leave those to, like, the ways in?
Let's just go through, because, I mean, honestly, they are nothing. They are like they are a droplet of piss in the bucket of piss that is the thing.
Okay, so what do we want to start with? What do we want to start with that one of us hasn't heard of? Because that is what always happens with these.
Well, I mean, what else can we say other than they are bad?
Are we starting with concentration camps?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, here's the thing. The one I forget who it was, a general or something that served at like I forget what it was, like a major U.S. prison, and he said like, "Oh, you wouldn't be saying there were concentration camps if you. It's like they're so nice compared to the place I used to work at, like, this prison," and it's like, yeah, but these people haven't committed any crimes.
Well, I mean, that's just, like, he's just a sociopath.
Yeah, it's like, that's not a defense. That's more so a criticism of how bad your prisons are. I forget what, I know it wasn't Guantanamo Bay that he was talking about, but other than that, I don't remember.
Oh, it's probably some CIA black site.
Probably. But he's like, oh, if you had seen how much better it is than that, and it's like, these people are practically living in luxury. I'm like, yeah, but they aren't, though, are they? They're not living in luxury.
Well, that just means that you should be investigated for, like, crimes against humanity. They have nothing. You're like, well, we don't even let them sleep on the concrete floor. We just hit them with a fire hose.
Mm-hmm.
Until they passed out.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, honestly, I think it's more so a criticism of the places that, of the places that he used to work at than a endorsement of, the concentration camps in the U.S. Like, honestly, I was one of those people who were like, okay, Trump's bad, but he's not actually going to be the next Hitler. Now, well, I don't think he's going to be the next Hitler because he's not smart enough. Like, he's not... Like, Hitler wasn't smart, don't get me wrong. He was an idiot. But Trump's even below that. Like, he's just not smart enough to even seize control. Like, someone could be like, hey, Trump, if you press this button, you'll seize control of the entire U.S. and eliminate the all other parties, and you'll always be elected president. You'll be president forever. And you'd be like, what's a button?
No, that's the thing. It doesn't... See, that's the worst thing, because the Democrats, why haven't they moved to impeach him? Why have they funded ICE?
Yeah.
They are literally enabling the fascism.
Yeah, it's... The U.S. is just... I don't understand it anymore. I feel like I never understood the U.S. Like... They're just this weird nation held together by vague patriotism with no actual specifics. It's just like, we are the best because we are the best, and we have been told we are the best. And it's like, but why though? And they're like, because we're the best. And I'm like... Around. Yeah.
They're never gonna keep us down. Because we're the best. around. Nobody does fascism like us. As we're the best around.
Yeah.
Trump 2020. Dun dun dun.
Also, "Keep America Great" is possibly the laziest slogan I've ever heard since "Make America Great Again."
Oh wait, what?
Yeah, that's his 2020 slogan. "Keep America Great."
Well, I was gonna say, because I thought it was "Make America Great" was literally something Ronald Reagan used. So he literally plagiarized Ronald Reagan.
I didn't know that, but like, seriously, "Keep America Great"? He can't come up with original thoughts. And I feel like his stupidity has leached into his entire campaign. That like no one around Trump can come up with an original thought. It's just impossible.
Well, because he surrounds himself with nothing but sycophants and yes men.
Well, yeah, but I feel like he just leeches people's intelligence without gaining it himself. Like, just everyone around him slowly gets stupider, but it's not like he's leeching the intelligence from them. He doesn't get smarter. They just get stupider.
I see. He's like an intellect devourer, but not doing what it does.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, Trump is a intellect devourer.
But a stupid one.
Yes. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, did you hear about that fake-ass journal getting beat by Antifa with a liquid cement milkshake or whatever?
Yes, I did hear about that. I read all about that on...
You want to hear my hot take on it?
Sure.
You should have got rolled by a semi.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not because he's a conservative, it's just because I just don't like journalists. So that's an unbiased comment, you know, so you can't say it's because of my left-wing values. It's because I hate all journalists equally.
Yeah, well, the trait of journalism, it's one of those things that's great in theory.
No, it's not great in theory because there's too many people who think I'm a blogger, I write opinion pieces, I'm a journalist. And I'm like, no, journalists do journalism, they don't write op-eds.
Yeah. Well...
What are you, Leon Trotsky?
You're not really... that's not really what I mean. What I mean is, like, it's one of those things that, like, in theory, it's like, okay, so... It's one of those things that's like, in theory, it's great for the people to be informed. But that's not what journalists really do. Like, journalists don't inform people. That's not actually their job.
No, because they're corporate sycophants who just repeat corporate news.
Yeah, exactly. Like, every journalist has an agenda. It doesn't matter who you are. Maybe, the only journalism I think maybe can become good is independent journalism. And I mean completely independent.
Yes, literally, that is the only, like...
Yeah. Like,
I don't even get my news from the mainstream media. I just, like, look it up on, like, I look for independent stories.
Yeah, like, honestly, the only way you can become educated by, like, the mainstream journalism is by taking in a ton of information from a ton of different sources, cross-referencing it by what you've heard from, like, from non-professional journalism and from just stuff on the internet. Like, that's the only way that you can actually get a real sense for what happened. Because, like, you can't even cross-reference two biased opinions. Two biased opinions in the opposite. You can't just take, like, a far-left opinion and a far-right opinion and expect to get the proper like the proper story.
No,
that, like,
that's the problem. Too many people are like, I listen from news from the left and I listen from news from the right. Therefore, I know what's up. And I'm like, no, because there's no far left, there's no far right news. It's just corporate news.
yeah,
Like CNN is as bad as Fox
yeah, I agree.
because
I
it's
agree.
literally it's nothing what a corporation is telling
I
you.
agree, and like honestly, I don't
The BBC
mind.
isn't that good anymore.
Sorry, what?
I said even the BBC isn't that good
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh yeah, I agree. Even CBC, which I don't mind, CBC's okay, but even they're
They're just-
like incredibly biased. I've seen so many articles from them that I can't think of specific examples, but I've seen
Just
so many
weaseling
articles.
out of the issues.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen so many articles where I've just thought like, okay, that's like half the story. It's like that's not really the truth.
Well, no, because that's the problem with state-run journalism is that right now the liberals are in power, so they have a liberal bias. But when the conservatives are in power, they're not gonna. They don't want to lose funding, so they're just
Yep.
gonna be like, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, this is good."
Yeah.
It's like more pipelines are a good thing for the environment.
Yeah, I know, eh?
Did you
And,
hear
like-
about the carbon tax?
Yes, I know all about the carbon tax. Did you get the stupid text that's like, do you think we should cut the carbon tax? Except it's worded extremely biasedly. Like, okay, let's see if I can actually. One second. I'm gonna stop my spaceship and pause, and I'm gonna see if I can pull up. I got this just the other day. It was like an extremely biased text. It was one of those like leading questions.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it like do you think the carbon tax goes too far or something?
Yeah, something like that. And it's oh right, here I think I found it. Hi, it's okay, I'll read it word for word. Hi, comma, this is Sue from Ontario Strong. Period. Do you
What
agree?
is that?
I don't know.
See, that's the thing. Like, you don't even know what it is. That sounds like a neo-Nazi thing.
Do you agree we must scrap the carbon tax? It's like, it's not do you think, do you agree? It's like, this is the correct answer. Do you agree with it? And then it's like, yes or no. And I'm like, no. The carbon tax is a good thing. But the thing is, we've been led to think it's a bad thing because I've said this before to like a ton of people who have complained about the carbon tax. I'm like, the carbon tax isn't what's actually raised gas prices like crazy. The carbon tax is, I think, 10 cents, which isn't that it isn't that big a deal. The problem is that our prices before the carbon tax was instated were at 80 cents. Okay, so logically, the carbon tax is 10 cents. They should have gone up to 90. They didn't. They went up to 130. That's because gas companies have an interest in having the carbon tax struck down. So they raised prices way above what the carbon tax required them to in order to make the carbon tax look bad. And honestly, that made me more likely to support the carbon tax because I'm just like, that's bullshit, and I want to screw over the massive gas companies. Because it's like, the carbon tax isn't like 50 cents, it's 10 cents. That's not a big deal. I mean, I work minimum wage, and yeah, a lot of my money goes to gas, but it should, because driving a inefficient vehicle like I do, because that's all I have, is bad for the environment. So I should have to pay a premium for driving such an inefficient vehicle.
Yeah, but then that's also such a neoliberal policy. Like, I have the carbon tax. I don't agree with it, but I will say it is the best method we have right now.
I agree.
I mean,
I agree that's not a perfect method, for sure. It's not the solution, but it is much better than just scrapping it and doing nothing.
Well, yeah, no, that's the thing. It's better than nothing, but I would much rather, like, the government pay for, like, emission, like, vehicles, or how about we make sure that the top 100 companies in the world that are destroying the environment are actually forced to pay reparations.
Yeah, because what is it like? The top 100 emitters.
Are like 70% of the global supply
Yeah,
of CO2.
yeah. It's the thing is, emissions are this weird emissions and pollution in general, pollution, littering, all these things are problems that have been pushed to the consumer when they are not actually related to the consumer. It's not the consumer's fault. It's the company's fault that are producing these goods that they're
Yes.
consuming. I mean, Coca-Cola. Let's use them as our target for now because they're a terrible company. But Coca-Cola had a great glass bottle system, right? And they replaced it with a plastic bottle system because they determined it was cheaper than their old system, which their old system, if you don't know, was that you could turn in glass bottles for a small refund. But they determined that refund was actually so little that it would be cheaper for them to just make plastic bottles. But plastic bottles can't be recycled in the same way because you can't just wash a plastic bottle and reuse it, which you can with a glass bottle.
Yes, you can. You're just a coward.
So like that's
afraid of cancer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, well, you can totally just reuse a glass bottle as long as you don't mind infertility, cancer, and numerous other biological problems. What, you don't want plastic in your system? What, are you gay?
Exactly. Actually, you know what really annoys me?
What?
You know they're importing the Mexican Coca-Cola that comes in a glass bottle? I mean, I'm not joking, and literally it's like Mexican Coca-Cola, and it's in a glass bottle.
I mean, we've had that at like Mennonite at Mennonite food stores and stuff for ages. It's not really new news to me.
Well, I work at a major grocery store chain, so not just you and your freaking white Mexican hillbilly families and your niche grocery stores.
Yeah. So, it's actually like an official Coca-Cola product, though?
No, yeah, it's just the Mexican Coca-Cola, and they just import it here.
That is kind of weird.
That's what it's billed as. It's like, oh, Mexican Coca-Cola made with real cane sugar, and I'm like, why don't you just change the recipe here?
Yeah, that is weird because we did have that in essentially that in like my hometown, but at like the local Mennonite food store. But the thing is that it was like you couldn't get it anywhere else. It wasn't officially associated with Coca-Cola. They were just bringing in bottles from Mexico. Whereas this, as far as from what you're saying, I'm assuming it's like an actual product released by Coca-Cola, where it's like, oh, yeah, it's like,
That is capitalist innovation right there.
Yes, it is.
Not changing what you do in one country, just importing it to another country.
Mm-hmm.
Genius.
Yeah, I always find the term capitalist innovation funny because there's no such thing. Capitalist is inherently anti-innovationist.
Yep.
Which I'm not sure if innovationist is a word. If not, I just made it up. Please cite me in all future uses.
Yeah, we own that word. That is a trademark word. We innovated, and now you owe us. We did something that no one else did, and now we own the royalties, so we deserve to solely profit from it.
Yeah, that's how capitalism works.
I mean, that's basically how America was founded.
Yeah.
No, I mean, literally, like, that's how they bootstrap their industry, because people would steal, like a certain, like, industrial revolution products, like a spinning wheel or cotton gin. Those had UK patents, so, like, you couldn't make another spinning gin or a cotton gin.
Mm-hmm.
So people would just immigrate, like they'd just like take one apart, write it down, go to America, and be like, "I made this." It's like, no, you didn't. It's like, I made this.
It's like that old ass meme. It's like the
Yeah,
where like there's someone's like content, and then another guy takes it and it's just like, I made this, and it's like, no you didn't, and then the other guy walks away for a minute and he's like, I made this.
yeah. No, basically, that's what it is.
Honestly, I think the idea of patents is just kind of stupid altogether.
Yeah,
It makes sense in a capitalist society, but only in a
Yeah.
capitalist society.
yeah,
That's the only place it makes sense. In an actual, if we ever achieve like the communist society that like we all dream of, then there won't be patents, because patents don't
No.
make sense in a communist society.
No,
Because
people will just build new products that solve needs because they don't want to do it.
yeah, and people will just and when that new product comes, then because goods are distributed between like all peoples, right?
Yeah.
Then it will benefit everyone if that new idea is just copied throughout the entire nation.
Exactly, because this is the thing. It's like you're not gonna lose out. Like,
Yeah,
the only reason we need patents is because otherwise inventors they need to acquire capital to access the means of production.
yeah.
To
Well,
profit
that's
from
all patents serve is capital. They don't serve actual. They don't serve actual improvement. They serve capital. They serve an improvement in capital.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you have patent trolls, and that's people who don't even.
Yeah, and they don't even do anything with their patents. They just serve to hinder both capital and
Advancement.
advancement. Like it's all the negatives of a patent with none of the admittedly quite few positives. Like, I do understand some of the arguments for patents that, like, I feel like I have to address them, otherwise people are going to say, like, oh, you don't understand. But I do understand the idea that, like, okay, I put work into inventing this thing that greatly improves our lives. My family should be taken care of. But the thing is, in a communist society, your family is already taken care of. It doesn't matter if you invented something amazing or not. Your family's taken care of. You invent something amazing to either benefit the masses and benefit your children by making it so they have to do less work in the future, or just by benefiting the masses, or just because you want to do less work in your particular trade. You invent a way to make shoes or harvest wheat better because you want to have an easier time doing that, so you can spend more time doing leisure activities.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of people say that communism is anti-art, which I don't understand. If anything, capitalism is anti-art. Communism is all focused around trying to have more time to do the things we enjoy rather than the things we have to do.
Karl Marx was a professional poster. All he did was post.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, I can't really say how people say communism is anti-art, considering that the Soviet Union spent so much money just making people do art.
Yeah, the problem is that everyone's thoughts on communism have been formed by a capitalist society. Like,
Yeah.
because we're for the longest time, I didn't even know what communism was, or what the difference between socialism and communism is, and a lot of people still don't know what the difference between socialism and communism is.
It's when the government pays for things.
Yeah, it's like that. Those are two very different ideologies. They're related, yes, but they're very different.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna say most people, but a lot of people don't know the difference because we're not taught about them. We are taught that they are bad. That is all you need to know. At least that's all that our schooling system thinks you need to know, is that they're bad. At best, you read Animal Farm in school. At best. And I wasn't even required to read that in school. And Animal Farm's not a very good book to teach you about capitalism or socialism. Because at that point, you might as well just read the history of the Soviet Union, and that will give you a better idea of what capitalism or socialism is.
Well, I mean, if you want to know what capitalism is, read Das Kapital. Because, I mean, Karl Marx literally invented the word.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone knows what a capitalism is...
Oh, you cut out for a second there.
Oh, did I? Am I fine now?
Yeah. I think you just said, if anyone knows what a capitalist is that what you said?
Yeah, it's Karl Marx.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because you just cut out for a second. Okay. Yeah.
God, I'm hot.
Yeah, I know. It here too. It's like
global warming.
Yeah, it is 1 billion degrees. In my
actually, that's impossible. You would die.
Actually, it's a unit I made up called kerflumps. It's 1 billion degrees kerflumps. So you're the one who's wrong.
Oh no, I've been owned by facts and law.
Yeah, well, you see, it's the exact same as Fahrenheit because they're both completely arbitrary. It's 1 billion degrees kerflumps right now.
Ooh, get owned, Fahrenheit system.
Honestly, though, I kinda, at times, every once in a while, I wish we even switched to the French Revolution version of timekeeping, where 100 seconds in a minute, 100 minutes in an hour.
Yeah, no, I hate the 60 because I mean,
it's so like, dumb.
You know what it is? We need to change the very concept of a day. There are not 24 hours.
Yeah, well, the French calendar did that. I forget how many hours were in the French Revolutionary calendar day, but it wasn't 24. I mean, partially because there was 100 minutes in an hour, but still, like it was honestly, it had a lot of problems, like the months being named very arbitrary things, which our months already are, but like one arbitrary to another arbitrary, you can do better than that. But like but in a lot of ways it was actually better. Hello? You still there, Dex?
Yeah.
Okay, you were just silent for a while.
Yeah, I'm just getting into my Starbound.
I see.
I'm only 1,000 points away.
Hello?
Yeah.
You cut out again. You cut out again.
Drinking soda. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
I'm downloading a game on Steam, so it's probably throttling my connection.
Okay. Yeah,
What else is going on in the news?
Oh my gosh, so much.
It's just awful.
Yeah. YouTube decided, a very minor thing, but I guess we're YouTubers, so we should discuss it.
Yeah.
YouTube decided instead of wanting some of the money, they wanted all of the money. So they decided to put 2 ads before everything instead of 1.
That's been happening for a while, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's been happening for a while, but we haven't made an episode in a long fucking time, Dex.
Well, because we're not monetized, so it doesn't affect us.
It's true. I mean, even if we had enough views to be monetized, we'd never be monetized anyways. If we ever get enough views to be monetized, we're gonna have to rely on, like, Patreon.
Yeah, it's just gonna be demonetized, demonetized, demonetized,
yeah.
demonetized.
Yeah, we'll just have to... We'll just have to open up every video by being like, we're fucking demonetized, so please support us. This video is demonetized already.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure, like, we don't even have enough views yet, and this video hasn't been posted yet, or edited, but I'm pretty sure YouTube's already demonetized it.
Yeah.
1 second, I'll check. Yep, we've been demonetized. Yeah, no, but, so that's just one other thing. Like, honestly, sometimes I feel like we're living in some sort of weird capitalist nightmare. Well, okay, actually, no, I don't feel like we are living in a weird capitalist nightmare. But, like, the fact that it's like, okay, in order to access this thing you want to see, you have to watch this video. It's like, how is that different from, like, being obligated to watch propaganda?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like all the YouTubers complaining about demonetization, and I'm like, or adpocalypses. I'm like, you only make money because YouTube is TV, and TV has standards and practices, and you did this to yourselves.
Yeah. Well, there is still problems with the whole ad bot, that, like, most of it's handled by a robot, and that robot is really bad at determining what content should and shouldn't be demonetized.
Look, if someone makes a video being a Nazi, they should be demonetized, and if a person makes a video criticizing that Nazi, but they use the word Nazi, they should be demonetized.
Well, the problem is, not even just those people are being demonetized. A lot of people are being demonetized, and the problem is there's no communication, because that's not required under capitalism. You don't need to tell someone why you're fucking them over in capitalism. You just fuck them over.
I just want to have a good law let conservatives who are like, we need to nationalize, like, YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. Do they honestly think the government is actually going to run these sites better?
That's true. Well, we need a much better government for starters.
Well, no, because the government's just going to be like, oh, look at this, I spy on people.
You keep cutting out.
Yeah, sorry.
My
internet is not good.
Yeah.
Because of capitalism.
You know what? I am positive that's true, because... Or actually, no, I know that's true, because...
Eastlink has a monopoly.
Exactly, because every internet service provider works with the... has actual secret discussions with the other ones to form monopolies in areas. But they're not technically a monopoly, because they technically all exist in the same country.
No, I mean, that's literally the thing. Like, there is no other competitor.
Yeah, no,
Eastlink. It's just,
no, that wasn't a joke. I grew up, my hometown also only has Eastlink, and the city I'm living in now has, I think, 2 options, or the town I'm living in now has 2 options, which
Eastlink
is way better.
And Westlink.
No, it's I think it's Rogers and Bell, but like, still, that's 2 competitors. When just down the road, if we lived just a tiny ways down the road, I could get Eastlink, but I couldn't get Bell or Rogers. So it's like they all just form these areas. Like, literally, this isn't a joke or conspiracy. This is known knowledge. They discuss these things and they decide what areas what company owns, and somehow it isn't illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is honestly one of those things that is just incredible to me. It's one of those things that just sounds like it should be so very illegal, but it's just not, because capitalism sucks.
Yeah. On the lighter side of things, let's do a little more personal news. I'm learning a language.
Oh, cool stuff.
Would you like to guess the language, Nathan?
Icelandic. Icelandic.
No, think more southern.
More southern. BBQ.
What?
It's a joke based on the Yokai Watch 3 game.
Ah, I see. I don't have that.
Yeah, in the Yokai Watch 3 game, because originally the characters just spoke English, but since they already speak English in the Western release, they had to change it, so instead they speak a language called BBQ. So that's why you can't understand them at the beginning, because basically they just speak in like a really racist, or not really racist, but like really stereotypical Southern speak with a lot of weird made-up words,
Yeah.
and they call it BBQ because they are from
Yeah.
like BBQ Island or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, so what language are you learning?
Oh, you come on. Just one guess and you're tapped out. I'll give you a hint. It's a widely spoken, like it's a global language.
A global language. Okay, well, okay. Mandarin?
No,
Um,
Mandarin's not really that much of a global language.
um, okay, well,
I mean, like literally all around the globe.
all around the
Like
globe.
it's pretty ubiquitous. It's associated with a religion.
Latin?
No, it's a
Hindu.
living language. No,
Um,
you're close though.
Hebrew?
Think no. That's not a world religion.
No, you're right. No, I'm just... Okay. I said that without thinking. Okay, so... You said
Come on, I'll give
Hindu
you
was
one last.
close.
Yep. Yep. It is spoken in India.
Um... Shit, I don't know.
Arabic.
Ah, Arabic. Okay. That's pretty cool. Why are you learning Arabic?
I just thought, you know what? I want to learn Arabic because I wanted to learn ancient Egyptian.
Well, that's a dead language, buddy.
No, it isn't. Coptic is still around.
Oh, is
Yeah,
it
you
just
didn't know that.
hieroglyphics that's dead?
No, people know how to speak hieroglyphics.
Speak hieroglyphics?
Yeah, they're a photonic language. It's not a picture language. It's actual written language. It's just in the shapes of things.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm listening to an audiobook on ancient Egypt.
Okay.
It's called The History of Ancient Egypt.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I recommend you get it.
So you wanted to learn ancient Egyptian, but why did you decide not to?
Well, because Coptic is hard because it's all in Greek, so I thought, well, I should learn first, and then I can ask a person in Egypt to teach me Coptic.
I see.
Because it's only the Coptic Christian church that uses the language.
I see. Well, that's pretty nifty.
Mhm. I've also found religion.
What religion are you a part of now?
I think you can guess.
I can?
Yes. It's relevant to what we were just talking about. Ancient Egyptian.
I see.
I'm revitalizing Egyptian paganism with a little bit of Final Fantasy.
I see. I actually have a friend who's Odinist.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a shrine to Odin.
Oh, what a freaking tryhard.
Yeah.
How's your Elite Dangerous going?
I mean, I didn't want to do anything that would require too much concentration, so I'm literally just
Yeah.
flying between places trading goods. But I think I've made, like, once again, I haven't been paying any attention, so I don't even know how much I've made so far. I know that every
Yeah.
transaction I've done has been, profitable. But
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, maybe I've made a few 100,000 so far.
Capitalist pig.
I know, eh? This game is very capitalist.
God, I'm hot.
Yeah, I know,
It's
me
too
too.
hot. It's too hot for podcasting. We gotta
Yeah.
move to We gotta move to Brooklyn, Nathan, with the Chapo. That's where our kind was meant to live.
Mm-hmm.
White podcasters were supposed to live in Brooklyn.
Yeah. What else? What else has been happening?
There's gonna be that big military parade.
Sorry, you're cutting out again. That I heard there's going to be that big military.
Parade for the 4th of July
Oh, okay.
that Trump wanted. Oh,
Yeah.
also the almost war we had with Iran. That was pretty spooky.
Mm.
That was scary.
Somehow I didn't even hear about that.
You didn't hear about Trump ordering airstrikes against Iran and then he changed his mind
No, I did not.
because they shot down a U.S. military drone.
Oh. He ordered military strikes over a drone?
Getting shot down. Yes.
Okay.
Well, there's also that. Also, the U.S. is trying to make it seem like Iran sunk or damaged oil tankers owned by Switzerland and Saudi Arabia.
I mean, they're oil tankers. It should be considered a patriotic act to anywhere in the world to damage them, as long as you're not sinking them in the ocean.
No. Oh God, my game freeze. Looks like it. This weather is too hot for podcasting.
Yeah, I agree, especially since my computer generates a lot of heat.
You gotta get that water cooled.
Well, I mean, even so, it'll still generate a lot of heat unless I connect the water cooling to, like, a window to blow it outside.
Well, you need to do beer cooling.
Have you seen that video from,
Yeah, you showed that to me.
Okay, yeah.
What you do is you put a little funnel, and then what you do is the beer goes through the computer, then into your mouth, and then you have a tube that takes out the urine, and then that becomes the cooling fluid.
Wouldn't I eventually end up just drinking urine?
No, because you have a combustor that separates the ammonium, and then you use the solid ammonium salts.
Sounds like a good cooling solution.
Yeah.
Although I'm going to be drinking a lot of warm beer.
Well, then just, like, slap a double cooler on her.
I mean, you realize having more coolers doesn't literally make it colder. Like, that heat has to go somewhere.
Yeah, and then that's what the thing is. You have the coolers to get rid of the heat. Because it's cold.
Wait, so it's going to my mouth after the coolers?
No, you take the beer, and the beer goes through a cooler, so it's cold beer, and then it goes in the computer, and then it gets hot, and then it goes into another cooler, cools down, then it goes in your mouth.
I see. Oh no! I'm being I forget what it's called. It just popped up on screen, but I wasn't paying attention.
I'm gonna slow down the tortoise team. Take that, tortoise team.
Why, are they catching up to us? The cunts?
No, you know how at the start the Corky team had
Had a massive lead, yeah?
and then it kind of got better because Steve tried to fix it.
Yeah.
Now Corky's in a massive lead again.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know, it got better for one day.
He looks so sad. He's just pumping his arm, but his mouth is agape. He's like Lot's wife.
Lot, it's not your fault. Your wife turned into a pillar of salt.
Well, yeah, it's her fault.
It's true. That's a song I was taught in Sunday school.
Yeah. I mean, God didn't have to turn her into a salt.
I mean, she was given a warning.
Yeah, but I mean, God's not very good with warning.
Yeah, also that's kind of arbitrary. It's like, you better not turn around, bitch. It's like, why not turn around?
See, that's the thing, though. Why would he even warn her if he's gonna turn around?
You keep cutting out, man. I can't hear you.
I said, why would he warn her if he knew what was gonna happen?
That's a good point.
He should have just turned her to salt.
I guess free will. Yeah, well, it depends. What? We're not going to turn this into a Christian podcast, or into a theological podcast. But it depends what specific. The answer to that question depends on what specific brand of theology you subscribe to.
Ancient Egyptian paganism.
I see. Well, I don't know what the ancient Egyptian paganists would say about different theories of why Lot's wife was turned into salt.
Because you worship a cruel, evil god who is a sect.
I did not. You're cutting out a lot. Maybe we should end this podcast.
I said your god is set. Your god is set.
Okay. Okay, so...
Actually... Oh my god, he's an aardvark.
Who's an aardvark?
Set.
Huh. Okay, well, honestly, due to all the technical issues, I think we should probably end this podcast here. So...
Oh wait, I wanted to give you a game recommendation.
Recommendation, I'm guessing you were trying to say? You cut out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You should play World of Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, I heard that was good.
It's Final Fantasy plus Pokemon, but it's better because it's Final Fantasy.
Let's see.
I'm so sweaty.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna bottle. I'm not wearing a shirt. My man boobs are sticking together.
I'm not wearing a shirt either, but my man boobs are not sticking together because I do not have man boobs.
It's because you're a coward and you don't enjoy yourself.
Okay, so any closing thoughts? Because I think we're gonna end this here.
We didn't talk about what we said we were going to talk about.
Oh shit, we didn't!
But my closing thought is that if we organize it, we won't necessarily...
you cut out. If we organize...
enough of the workforce, we won't necessarily need a revolution, because we will control the means of production in all but name. And therefore we can dismantle capitalism at our leisure. That's only if people actually stop arguing about left course and unionize people.
Okay, I'm trying to get what you're saying, but you keep cutting in and out.
You know what? Let's just end it, and I'll text you my thoughts.
Okay, we'll discuss this another time. Hopefully we'll be able to discuss this on the podcast another time when the internet's being less shit.
Oh,
and
you know what I might be?
The capitalists are trying to censor us because they know we're right.
Yeah. Yeah, if a private service denies you access to the platform, it's censorship.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's only censorship when it's against me.
Exactly. So, closing thoughts, remarks?
Try to have a good 4th of July if you're in the United States.
Yeah.
Oh, how was your Canada Day?
It was fine. I worked, but I got paid double time, so that's
So did
cool.
I. I
Yeah.
worked the whole long weekend.
Yeah, me too.
Or should we say colonialization day? Dun dun dun!
Okay.
Alright,
So,
I'll talk to you later.
okay.
I gotta do a Duke.
Okay, guys. We'll see you later.
Okay, I guess bye,
This has
everybody.
been, yeah, this has been Two Idiots Talk.
Yep,
Peace. Or war. We're not your boss.
with Iran for oil. Okay. Bye bye.